So, if you look at the track record for the last 400 years, what do we see? Well, science has changed out of all proportion. Galileo gave us a scientific method, Newton picked it up, and Maxwell up the road discovered radio waves before they were discovered experimentally. The truth was seen as developing detailed models of how reality, which now includes life, thanks to Mr. Darwin, how it all worked. The models continue to be improved, and our understanding of reality is delivered by the enormous explanatory power of scientific theory. That's the light that shines all over the world. And there's one science, there's not lots of different science geographically correlated. Obviously there's arguments around the edges, but the central mainstream science is the same all over the world, because truth cannot contradict truth. Now Christianity on the other hand, I'm sure Peter will correct me if I don't get this right, the sort of belief or be burnt at the stake has sort of moderated a bit. It's now believe or else. And Christianity is fragmented into hundreds of denominations, and of course recently we're seeing this intelligent design aspect. Regard the truth, miracle reports fall off. People now don't take the Bible literally. Not everybody believes that Noah actually went to sea in a boat with all the animals, although some people still do. And the God of the gaps has appeared. As science advances, the religious people point at the gaps and say, well, there's God in there. And then science advances a bit further, and God retreats even further, deeper into the gaps and the shadows. So there's not a lot of light in the gaps, in the shadows, because science hasn't shone it there. So I would say that science has won hands down. Of course, that's what Mr. Dawkins is saying in his book. But how certain is Dawkins that God does not exist? He's almost. He's not absolutely certain that God doesn't exist, nor am I, nor is any other competent scientist. Because truth in science is interpreted as the generation of a model of reality. Science will never deliver something you say is absolutely true. The models just get better and better and better. And we're all almost convinced that God does not exist. Does Dawkins think there should be a law against believing in God? No, nor am I. Belief is a personal thing. If you want to believe, you have a personal right to believe whatever you want to believe. And every reasonable person, every humanist will acknowledge that right. It's a fundamental human right that you can do that, provided it has no knock-on effect harming other people. Of course, there's a subsidiary argument there, but I haven't got time because I'm running out. I just want to say this. I won't speak to the Pope because... back to the choices there. Does a scientifically informed person have a choice with regard to God? Can someone choose to believe in God or not? Well, I don't control what I believe. The evidence does that. So no, I don't have a choice. Belief in God is not an option for me. So, given that I don't deny the existence of God, he might actually be there. I don't think he is, I think it's very unlikely he is, but I cannot deny the fact that he might be there. So what would I say to him if I die and he turns out to be there after all? Who are you, I would say? I honestly don't know. You know, I've heard lots of stories from lots of religions, and if I met God, I would not know which God he was. So I would have to ask, who are you? They tell me he's got a sense of humour, so we're all right with this. He's already told me that man made many false gods. The situation is very, very confusing. God is a very bad communicator. I can't hear what he's saying. He has never spoken to me personally, and I know people claim that they have had personal contact with God. I have not had any personal contact with God. I listen to him through what other people say, what the religions say. And if there are any religions, they all contradict each other, then n minus one of them must be wrong. That's a lot of noise in systems engineering terms, a lot of stories and noise about this God and that God, and God can't expect me to sort all that out if he doesn't talk to me. say the scientific model of reality is very convincing and incompatible with all religions. Now, God might call my bluff on that. He might say, all right, show me some evidence. You're a scientist, you're talking about evidence. Show me some evidence of that. Well, I will. I've shown that picture. Now, I haven't got time to explain that, but maybe we'll come back to it. If you want to actually see some evidence of what I would present to God in one slide, that's the slide. My argument is that because of all that evidence, that it's perfectly reasonable for somebody to come to the conclusion that it's okay to not believe because of the noise, of the evidence, that reality is constructed not to require a God in order to explain it. I say that that is true even if God is listening, even if God is up there. The right thing to do is to say it's okay to not believe. Thank you, Liz.